Now, in the last episode of Just Create SMP, I built myself an XP farm that honestly is a little bit overkill. Or is it? And that's because today I want to explore this mod, Enchantment Industries, just a little bit more. The mod that's allowing us to collect the XP in the first place. Like, for example, the mod that allows us to pull XP out of a tank with an experience hatch and place it back in. You can definitely see why my hands are a little XP-ified. Now, this XP farm I let run for a few hours, and my goodness, in those few hours, it generated 12,000 blocks of experience. This is blocks of experience, mind you. And then also 48,000 blaze rods. That is so much. And it even ended up generating like 7,000 blaze powder. I'm assuming from it just somehow crushing some of the blaze rods on accident. And we ended up with a ton of blaze heads, which I am currently wearing. And if you had questions regarding how am I getting heads on here, we do have a data pack on the server, which you can throw into any world. And you can find that, I believe, on Exumavoid's website, where he does link, well, all of those data packs. Or at least that's where I know to get at least one of them, and I would have probably used that one. Now, that's besides the point. I want to get my hands a little bit more dirty with these experience hatches. I also want to be able to start selling my experience to my server mates, which means we do need to get a little bit of a shop up, quick and easy. And I do have two other shops that are connected to my regular shop. So that I was doing the concrete dyes. I don't know if you missed that episode. This thing, this one right here. Yep. This is the shop with our Jeb sheep. But yes, we do have two other places that I could put the XP in and decorate for XP. We have the magenta side right here. And then on the other side, we have our blue side, which looks really, really nice as well. Both of these would be really great. You know what? I think it would fit really, really well on the blue side. And for good reason, because there's actually hyper experience as well. This hyper experience is going to be something that I want to dive into. Now, Enchantment Industries. This is the mod that we're going to be getting into. So, I think it's just Industries. Yes. And it offers us a few things. We have the grindstone, which is pretty cool, allowing us to crush down our XP nuggets into liquid experience. And then we also have the blaze enchanter, which will allow us to automatically enchant things. And we can also specify specific tiers of enchantments, and we can also put them on templates, which seems pretty darn cool. Then we have the blaze forger. And these all have some pretty advanced mechanics now in this mod, but there's a lot of other cool things that we can do. We have these enchantment templates, but we also have these blaze cakes that we need to use in order to over level and over forge things. Like if we want to go beyond what is vanilla Minecraft, well, we have a lot of work ahead of us. But before we get started with all of that and the shop, there's actually some things that I want to clean up. And that's going to be the roadway. Notice how I have this roadway that does extend and crosses over here from spawn. I eventually want to have this whole thing connected up, but it is going to take me quite a bit of time to do this. And I think this is where I'm going to count on the Twitch live streams to be able to get it done. But you guys get to watch it here via, well, you guessed it, a time lapse. Now hold your horses and wait just a minute. We're not jumping into it just yet because I do want to explain why I want to do the things I want to do and kind of help you understand what's going on in the time lapse. I want to extend our walkway, and I want to extend it along the side here, and I want to carry this all the way around, and I'm probably going to end up carving out a little bit more of this just so that way I can add a walk path that leads all the way over here. And then I want to also extend a crossing. I want to make sure it can make its way up to here, just like we did last episode, where it ended up getting a walkway on the other side. And I've got to figure out how to also get one that makes its way over here, because I do want them to all connect. And I want everything to connect up and lead into this section right here, into the tunnel. So you can see the bridges are already there, the walkways are already here, and I want it to go into here because we're going to have quite a bit of infrastructure in this area and out here. But inside of here, I thought it would be a pretty good place to set up the enchantment industry things, because it does kind of have that forgey feel, like that forge-esque feel, which is something we're going to be doing quite a bit of. So I still also have to hollow this out and get it looking very much like this, where we can also get another path that's bridging off that way. Still don't know what I'm going to do with this wall. I'll work that out, I'm sure, in the future. But as of right now, I've got this to clear out, and I've got some walkways to place in. So without further ado, roll that dirty time lapse. After that beautiful time lapse that took an entire 8-hour stream, believe it or not, I now have myself a walkway that not only leads all the way over here to the dirt factory, but it now leads all the way back to our current working location. And I even added a zip line. So you could either take the path that runs along the entire side here, or you could just, you know, hop onto the zip line and carry yourself all the way across the beautiful lake down here. But look at all this. I ended up putting all of that around. Oh, and it just worked out perfect. By the way, you do have to hop off here. I was trying to work out a way that could auto eject you off of the chain, but yeah, my attempts ended up failing. But yes, it does lead all the way down here and still continues on. And yes, now I have a way to not only get here by train, but we can also get here by feet and have a nice scenic view of the road. Just don't reach your hand out and touch the train. That would be dangerous. Now in the future though, this path right here may end up changing, because I think after I end up fixing this train that goes into the nether and just have it actually run through the world instead of the nether, because it's causing crashing still. Yeah, I think this will actually be another route. That way we can have trains also come back here and drop off items. I think that would be a pretty good idea, actually having this routed in. And not only that, it could allow us to have a roundabout that starts at the train station. So we don't have to have this go all the way out when it doesn't actually need to. But that's a future problem for a future Chosen. We have other problems to sort of solve. And, well, I believe Stam had some things to talk about, and I had some things to talk about with Stam. Like, I have a little bit of a proposition for him that he may actually like. I don't know. So I remember you talking about, like, Redstone, right? You had like Redstone in mind, right? Automation?
I did, yeah, for the jetpack fuel.
Well, yeah, for jetpack fuel, blaze cakes, all that fun stuff. Wait. Anyways. But yes, redstone automation for like automating brass. There we go. That's great.
Yeah.
I have blaze rods.
You have blaze rods?
A lot of blaze rods.
A lot of blaze rods. Okay.
And I would definitely be willing to share in that project to provide the blaze rods. Free of charge, actually. Just so long as I get a little cut of the redstone.
How much? Oh.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, that's a lot of yeah, like, more than a little bit, I'd say. But
yeah.
You do.
Mm-hmm.
What is this XP as well?
Uh-huh.
Wait, is it only a blaze? Oh.
Mm-hmm.
How many spawners do you have in there?
6.
Oh wow. Right.
Just a couple.
Just a few, yeah.
Yeah, just a couple. Yeah. Works really good, as you can see. I mean, it turned out, pretty
clearly.
good. Yeah. It's going to be real good, especially with the future plans that I'm going to be working with this experience here soon. But anyways, that's another shot for another day. But redstone. Yes.
Redstone.
Yeah. Do you think that's going to be? You think it's going to be possible?
I could definitely build a redstone factory if you'd be able to hook up a system that maybe uses one of your trains to deliver it to my area.
Yeah, I could do that.
Might have to refit one of the tunnels, though.
Ah, it'll be fine. My train fits through your tunnel. Barely.
It does?
Barely.
Oh, it does? Oh.
Barely.
It doesn't work. Okay, barely. I mean, maybe I do still want to expand it then.
I mean, it fits.
That barely
can
gets
scrapes.
Gets through in the...
Just scrapes.
Oh, just scrapes a little bit.
Yeah, not that big of a deal, honestly.
Okay.
So,
right.
Yep,
well, that'll work. We'll talk about that more when I'm closer to building a factory.
Oh yeah, let me know when you need it.
I kind of would like to do that soon.
Yeah.
To be fair. So I'll let you know about the time. Is that train going backwards?
Mike, and I just realized the whole conversation I had my blaze head on. Oh man. But yes, you heard me mention brass, because if we want to automate any of the brass components or redstone components or anything that we need, well, we are going to need a lot of redstone, and thankfully there is a recipe that allows us to automate redstone in this pack. But it may not be super obvious at first. See, we have tons of different tabs that we can search through to find redstone, but one of them is using potions of strength and cinder flour and dropping that on there to get redstone dust. Now, this seems kind of odd, but it's the amount of the potion of strength that we're going to use. For example, 25 millibuckets of this produces 1 redstone, but a potion of strength can be automated by using create. And whenever you use 1 singular blaze powder, it produces 100 millibuckets of it. And that means for every potion automation that's set up, like every single time that recipe is crafted, it could craft up to 40 redstone each. And that is going to be really helpful because redstone is one of the few components that we just don't have a huge supply of, and we've all had to mine for it. But now that I've worked that out with Sam, I might have access to a little bit of that redstone, and I could possibly help him with some of the automation for it as well. We can scale up production. I have plenty of blaze rods and blaze powder for that process, so I think this is going to work out really well. Now, back to what I actually want to do today. Now that all of that stuff is out of the way and we have a walk path over here and things and bits and bobs and all that fun stuff, it's time to start working on the enchantment industries. And this, my friends, is where things get really interesting. So in the enchantment industries mod, we need to worry about a couple of things. We have one, a blaze enchanter, which can automatically enchant things for us. And in my opinion, not that useful for my case. It can also enchant high level things and could potentially enchant treasure enchants onto your things. For example, it could enchant mending, for example, onto a pick or something like that. We don't really need that so much. But what we do need is to get our enchantments to a higher level, and we can also mix enchantments that typically can't be mixed. For example, I can have protection and I can also have fire protection on the same piece of gear. And from testing, not only can I have fire protection, and I can also have protection, I can have blast protection and everything else on the same piece of gear. And something that's even more cursed is you can have a bow with mending and infinity. Right? And all of this is surprisingly easy to set up, but, oh, hey, I'm on the other side here. Yes, what's even crazier, if I haven't said crazy enough, is the fact that you can also, once you make an enchantment, duplicate it indefinitely. Yes, that's right. If I can get myself Fortune 4, I can just simply print more and more Fortune 4s, and I could potentially sell them to my server mates. But like I said, this is going to require a little bit of a setup. And I don't even think we're going to need to really automate making the cake enchanting. After looking at this and realizing that one of these cakes give the actual forge an entire bucket worth, and how little the forge, for example, uses, yeah, I think we're gonna be just fine. Now, what I should figure out though is like a way to just produce some eggs. I mean, I might add some chickens here on the walls. That could be kind of cool. Like have some chickens sitting on some seats with some hoppers that are collecting eggs. I mean, I could do that. So I'm thinking just a simple setup like this, having like barrels sprawled throughout, and then making sure that the actual hoppers are connected there, and then just setting the chickens directly on top. The chickens should lay eggs. The eggs automatically get sucked into the hopper and then end up in the barrel, which I can just access when I need. Now I've just got to go get my hands on some chickens. Wait, and you know what? There's like a surprisingly small amount of chickens around. Huh, hello.
How's it going?
It's going good. I am, as you can see, putting chickens on a wall.
That is a very worthy accomplishment.
Yes, great.
I was just talking with Stam. He said he came over to talk to you. He was telling me well, first of all, he asked if I wanted to join to his rail line, which I think I'm going to be doing, but also he said his tunnel is a little bit small, so I'm going to be making it bigger. And then he blamed you. He said you were the reason that it needed to be bigger.
Well, I mean, it's his fault. He built small trains. They're cute, but they're small. That's fine.
Yeah. No, but I just came to see what was up. I haven't really been out west much here by you, and I was just taking a little look around.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of development, a lot of construction out here. Yeah.
I'm also noticing what's on your hands.
I've been playing with the XP a little bit too much. Yeah, it's kind of rubbing off on my hands for some reason. I don't know. It's really sticky, honestly. Hard
okay.
to. Yeah.
Didn't you? Last time I saw you, you had. Was it mud or I
we'll call
really
it chocolate.
was hoping it wasn't manure.
We'll call it chocolate. We'll call it chocolate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. That makes me feel better.
There's still chocolate. It's just underneath the apron. Yeah, it's definitely there underneath the
Got it.
overalls. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Have you considered this? I don't like to talk about personal hygiene with anybody, but have you considered a bath at all?
I haven't. That would be nice, though.
I don't know if you... Yeah,
nice,
well,
yeah.
I don't know if you've been over by Spawn by my area, but recently I put in a Roman-style bath, and, if you are looking to clean up after these, chicken wall adventures of yours, that might be an option for you.
That would be nice. That would be really nice. Wait, what's the catch?
Well, I'm not Stam, so I'm not gonna, put you to work or anything, but you've got a lot going on over here. Is there anything... seeing as I'd be sharing the bath? Well, that sounds a little bit weird. Giving you private access to the bath. Is there anything new you've got going on? I mean, you're talking about XP on your hands. I wouldn't mind a little XP.
Yeah, I definitely could do XP. I got plenty of XP. Yeah, you could get like the first share of XP. That'd be great, right? Wait.
Yeah.
But it is going to come at another cost. What's a good selling price for like a stack of enchanted blocks?
Oh gosh, I don't even know how much you can use an enchanted block for. I've never used them.
Oh man, it lasts a while. Like one stack of the regular nuggies can fully repair an elytra from nearly broken. And so that only takes like 8 of those blocks.
That's not bad.
But it does take quite a bit more. It takes about 4 or 5 stacks to like repair a pick or something like that. Takes a bit more. I mean, does like a diamond for a stack sound good? I mean, I'm trying to come up with an idea there.
Yeah, well, I mean, it depends on how hard it is to make. Like back at the Golden Carrot shop, I did a diamond for 32 just because it takes a bit longer with all the gold, but also it looks like you produce things very, very quickly. So
yeah, I mean,
it depends on how difficult it was.
It was like 8 hours of AFK for 12,000 blocks.
Whew. So it sounds like you can get rid of them pretty easily, but at the same time, I guess you wouldn't want people to just come buy 32 and then not need to spend anything pretty much forever.
Yeah, I have been living off of like my stack for a while, but I've also been repairing my gear with Stam's Creeper Farm. So maybe a diamond is good for a stack. I think that might be a good. But yeah, a bath. How much would you want for a bath? I mean, I would love to wash some of this stuff off. I mean, I think after I'm done with all the hyper experience stuff, I can definitely take a dip and then like I'll leave you however much you want. How much you need? What are you looking at?
I mean, if
how many stacks of blocks?
no, I mean if stacks of blocks. I mean a bath is a pretty simple thing. If you just want to leave me a stack, that would be fine. And then if you ever find yourself needing to get cleaned off again and you want to donate more, that'd be perfectly fine with me.
Okay, that seems fair. I'll probably do that. I'll throw in some blaze rods as well. How about that?
Hey, that'd be fantastic.
Perfect. I need to get rid of these blaze rods.
Is that a byproduct you're making? Is blaze rods?
Yes. Okay. Well, be sure to look after today. I'll clean up, I think, after I get all of the enchanting done, and be on the lookout. There'll be some XP sitting there for you.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, bud.
Yep. We'll see ya.
I almost have all of the eggs in place. But yes, I mean, washing my hands probably, I mean, that wouldn't be a bad idea, right? I could clean up a little bit. I mean, maybe keep the apron. I don't actually know. I may keep the apron. I kind of like the apron. Overalls, not apron. Overall. I keep calling it an apron as well. I mean, it's overalls. Or is it coveralls? Wait, which one is it? Now with our egg problem solved, I think we're ready to go. All of these chickens are now generating eggs. I just probably should get a ladder up here, maybe a little scaffolding to be able to access them easier, but we do have eggs. Now, I want to set up a little area to be able to make those cakes, and we also are going to want to start turning our XP that we have over here into actual fluid. And then whatever's remaining, we can use for our shop. I was thinking this could be a really nice place to showcase the actual XP. So if we place a tank like right into these slots here and have it poking out just a little bit, I think that could look pretty darn cool, right? And if we continue this all the way up to the ceiling, like so maybe, and then have some decoration possibly on the top, like that could look really, really nice. And I need to do the same thing on the other side and potentially split it between the two, and hope I have enough XP, because it does take a lot of XP to actually fill these tanks. That's because a single block of experience doesn't generate a whole lot, only 27 millibuckets. With both of these spinning out, I just gotta put the funnels on, but before we put the funnels on, we probably want to get the pump system set up and also get our grindstone in the grinding mode. Now on this side, I'm gonna need like a chain drive, and then I am also going to need to convert this, I think, like so. Yes, I believe, yes, that is crushing the correct way. We can actually encase this. Like, we don't have to leave it looking like this. Like, we can actually have it cased up like that. I think it might look a little bit better. A little bit, I mean, nobody's ever be back there anyways. What am I talking about? And then on the front, we just want to have the pump, and this makes it really, really easy because we can just throw that on there, and that's just going to pump straight out. So this is the whole setup to be able to convert the XP over. With that in place, let's now place in our funnels, and we'll just have a regular funnel sending out on this side and a funnel sending out on the other side, and then just connect it in. I mean, this should be fine. I mean, we shouldn't even have to worry about I mean, it being the regular nuggets or the actual blocks like that. That honestly shouldn't matter whatsoever. At some point, we just want this tank to be completely filled, and it can hold 576 buckets of XP. That's quite a lot. Just to put that in perspective, by the way, it would take 21,000 blocks of XP to fill this tank. I do believe. So I think it might be a good idea, just so we don't use up all of it for right now, to make sure we have a shut off. So I set up some redstone, place it on the side of my funnel so I can shut this off. But when I have a little bit more time to AFK, I can just leave it running and all of that. But I do want to take some of these blocks before they get used up in this operation, and I want to get them in sort of a shop so I can sell it to everyone. And I know some of you are like, Chosen, don't you have enough diamonds? Like, why are you selling everything? Like, why are you doing that? But I really like just providing these things for everyone. Like, if somebody had already done XP like this and started selling it, I would have just been buying it from everyone. But no one's doing that. Now let's talk about this. Now, making lapis, if you really wanted to automate these blaze cakes enchanting, you could automate this whole process in this pack with lapis looping and all that fun stuff that we are actually doing for blue dye. But like I said, I just don't think this is going to be super necessary. However, what I do want to do is I want to set up a way that I can put in eggs on a depot, sugar on a depot, and lapis on a depot, and then it just does the operation and spits out the cake. but the actual completed cake, which, by the way, to make one of these costs an entire bucket of the XP. Just keep in mind, that's quite a few blocks. Like, each cake uses like about 37 blocks worth of this XP. So now let's get to working this out. So I'm thinking what we could do is we could just simply have some depots. I think depots would be pretty good as like the thing that we put the items on. We put our items on, and then we do need a place that we plan on getting those items back at. I don't know where. I mean, this is a spot of 3. I could send it just like on the side over here. What should I do here? You know what? Maybe it might be better if I just like have a container up here that receives the items back. And then, so I put the items down here, and then right here is where we get our product. You know what? After thinking about the way this automation could be performed, I do think it might be best to have like our depots over here. And then we have a return depot over here where we actually collect the items. And that's because we do need to spout the XP on here. So what it could do is we could just place it on here and only have it spout XP after we pull the item off. So that way it can produce another one, because we're really going to need these just sort of on demand. Problem is here, I don't know if I can do all of this with just one arm. Now this will be the pulling. So this is going to pull, and then we need these to be set as the deposit, like so. And then this also needs to be a pull, but we also need this to be a deposit. However, I think I'm going to have to specify very specifically what this is. So we are going to need a brass funnel, and probably have to make at least one so we can put it in the filter, or we can use a list. Either way, this is going to be what needs to happen here. I mean, we might be able to get that all done. We just got to make sure this is a pull. Otherwise, I'm going to need 2 mechanical arms. Let's go ahead and get at least one made. There we go. Perfect. I mean, that makes it incredibly fast. Spits it out, and voila. We now have the base cake enchanting. So let's just go ahead and place that in the filter. And I've also got all of these placed in. And then we can use this mechanical arm, I hope, to be able to pull all of these items off, place them in, and then also pull this off and place it in. So I hope. I think this will work though. Need a block to place it on, and I just gotta rotate some power over here. Now to get the XP over here, yes, we do want to make sure we already have some sort of pipe in, because as soon as I place in the pump, it is going to start pumping XP. There we go, and I don't need 2 of them. Just like that. All right, and perfect. Look at that. We now have XP that's in here, which means that this should now fill. Beautiful. And we now have a cake enchanting. Can't do anything with it just yet because we still need the forge, but at least we now have the ability to make this. I just got to get some identifiers saying like what goes where. And that can be solved by simply placing in some placards on here, including the cake. We also need like the lapis, the eggs, and the sugar. All of that on there. And yeah, we just need to decorate the background a little bit. I mean, though, we do need to test and just make sure this actually functions. So put the eggs on here, put the lapis not in the lapis slot, and the sugar. And then we also need to make sure that yeah, we have the recipe set. Let's see if I pull that out. Oh, it's still good. It's still going to continue, isn't it? Okay, I do have to set the recipe for this. So, you know, this is why it's good to actually test these things out. Just like so. Place that in there, and now it won't accidentally craft any of our things anymore. And I'll put this here. And it also, I don't think will output anything if there's no reason to output. So it might actually save us here. Okay, so it will craft. Had nowhere to go. It did press for some odd reason. But anyways, like as soon as we pull this off, that will then get thrown over here. And you can see it just generated another one. Always keeping one in stock, which is what I want. So with a teensy bit of decorating, a few girders, a little bit of dirty floors, and a singular thing that's automating all of it, and a few nice windows, I mean, essentially we have this section done. Time to move on to how are we actually going to make this forge? Because making this blaze forger seems like it is going to require a little bit of adventure, because I do not currently have a blaze upgrade smithing template. I mean, I have a regular smithing template, but not this one. Hey, look, it just requires blaze rods. That's kind of nice. I have a lot of those. But now where exactly do I get my hands on one of these? Oh, of course, Bastion treasure. Oh, that makes sense. Wait, but we can also find it in a nether fortress chest? Like there's a chance? Wait, to find it in a nether, that would be way easier than going to a bastion for that thing. Well, it looks like I'm about to go treasure hunting. Let's get up here then. And are these generated? They're not. Oh, perfect. Okay. Oh, that's exactly what I needed. All right, there we go. The template is ready to go, and we got another armor trim. Very, very nice. So now that I have this beautiful smithing template, it's time to get out of here. Now, just like any old smithing template, we do want to make sure we have dupes of this, so we can go ahead and put everything on here. Make sure to just keep crafting more of them and more of them. I don't know if we're going to need more of them, but might as well make more. Oh my goodness, I'm going to die. Make more of them. Why did I put these here? Perfect. Now with all of this, everything is going to start to make a lot of sense. So we have ourselves a smithing table, and we combine this with a blaze burner, and we also combine it with an anvil, and we get ourselves a blaze forger. This right here, though, is insanely powerful. That and the printing, which we're about to do, you're about to see the power of this thing. Now, some things to note about this blaze forger is that lightning is going to potentially strike on this thing, and I don't know if it needs direct access to the sunlight. I can easily make another one if this one actually breaks, but we're going to be able to see this in action here soon. So let's go ahead and we're going to cover this pipe. We can do that by, for example, using a casing on the pipe. And I'm going to place the blaze forger on top here. Now I have this pipe because we do need to pipe it regular XP, and then we're also going to need to feed it that cake, which the cake feeding can be done automatically, but in our case, we're not going to really need to automate this in any real way. And I'm going to explain that a little bit more here in a minute. But yes, we are going to need to hook this up. So I'm going to place this in here, and then we'll get a pipe that should start to feed the XP into there. So perfect. We have liquid experience going into this, and we're almost there. We're almost ready to go. As of right now, with this just set up alone, it should be able to just simply work like a regular anvil that doesn't cost us any XP, and also doesn't have like a level limit cap that a normal anvil would have. But this can do more than that. If we do surround this with a few of these experience crystals, and we place in some lightning rods, when the lightning does strike, we can force it to actually strike these blocks of experience. And it is going to give us a little bit of extra hyper experience that we can then technically use to right click on here in place of the cakes. But honestly, I found that the template system and this, not as useful as you might think for a pack like this, because the only real use for these like templates right here that we can make from this mod, these templates right here are to be able to strip enchantments off of your current gear. So I could rip off the protection off of this gear, which is good early on, but once you go into, for example, protection 5, then you have to use a super enchantment template, and that's really one of the only other use for these blocks that we can gather from this operation. I'm going to tell you now, we really don't even need to strip off the enchants off of our current gear. Oh, and by the way, it can also strip off in testing curses. It will literally rip off curses, which is, I guess, another useful thing that you can do in case you accidentally enchant yourself a curse on there. So now let's get this party started with this printer. And this is where things get really, really neat. So the printer, so long as it is receiving some sort of experience, allows us to literally duplicate books. And the only thing they are going to need to run is going to be XP. I think I can actually rotate these. Yes, I do want this plate to be facing forward. After getting some XP into the printers, this is where things get kind of interesting. So let's actually use one of those templates on some of our gear. For example, I have an Unbreaking 3 on this cardboard chest piece, and I want to take this off of here so I can upgrade this Unbreaking 3 into an Unbreaking 4, for example. And that is going to require us to just use some basic XP at first. So we'll take this enchanting template, and this will allow us to strip off an enchant. Now I'm hoping that we don't have to have a hole in the ceiling and the lightning will still strike inside of the building anyways, but to be able to rip this off, we need to put the gear inside of the blaze forger and then apply the template. And you'll see this guy will go into a forging mode, and it's going to say that it is going to take off this and put it onto the enchanting template and give us unbreaking. Notice it did complete. And I noticed there also wasn't any lightning. Now, I don't know if lightning happens at this tier, but it could also be that there are blocks on top. I know there could be some issues if you do actually do this with blocks on top of it. But yeah, I mean, that's just how this rolls. So there we go. We have our unbreaking. Now, what we can also do is we can apply this unbreaking to a regular book. So we put the book on, and then we apply the template, and that is going to turn this book into a regular Unbreaking 3 enchanted book. Or at least so it should, by using a little bit of XP, literally 27, like 1 block worth. That is so good. Now that we have the Unbreaking 3, we just slot that in. Notice that it doesn't actually consume the book, and we can just print ourselves another book. It's Unbreaking 3. We're just printing books now. Like, I don't even know what to say here. But now the part that's even crazier is the fact that we can now take this Unbreaking 3 book and we can level this bad boy up to an Unbreaking 4. First, that is going to cost a little bit of the cake, and it refills. There we go. And we just place this over here inside of our Blaze Forge. That is going to consume that and store a little bit of basically 1,000 of the quote-unquote hyper experience. And this is the way this new system works. So combining these two together, we should be able to take the 2 duplicated books like this and combine them together. And you can see that the forging result here says Unbreaking 4. That is very powerful. Also, notice, by the way, that there wasn't any like lightning that struck, and I think that's because it is covered. I kind of want to open this up though, because I really like the lightning that strikes. You just got to make sure you have blaze rods here, otherwise, or the lightning rods, otherwise lightning could strike the blaze forger, and it will kill the blaze forger. I'm just wondering, like, how much room do I need? Do I just need like a single block directly over him, or like what is needed to get that lightning to strike? Because it's also another way that we can convert that into hyper experience. But like I said, we really don't need like the hyper experience crystal blocks, because we're not going to be taking this off of gear, or at least not normally. But now that's besides the point, because notice this is the Unbreaking 4, and bam, we place that in here. And let's just say I want to make more of those. It's literally that easy. And you can see the printing cost, it costed a little bit of XP, 224 according to this. But we are now printing higher level enchanting books. Now, are you questioning at the moment if I can go even higher? Like with the enchanted books? Well, unfortunately, no. +1 on the enchantment level is all that you can go, unfortunately. But that's still better than nothing. But that's not the most powerful part, right? You know how I mentioned infinity and also mending on the same piece of gear? That's 100% doable. But you know what? I need to start getting some higher level enchants. So I'm going to make a few more of these templates here. And I am going to definitely start ripping some of the enchants off of my main pieces of gear. And this is definitely going to be an unhealthy process. I've got to go through all of them individually, stripping off all of the enchants one at a time. Normal enchanting template can't be used for super enchanting mode. Wait. How do I get it out of this mode? Wait, what? Oh wait, do I have to always use the high-end? What? You know, I am kind of rich with experience right now, so maybe I can just pop that off and then holy smokes, my levels went crazy. And you know what? I guess this is where the experience hatch would really come in handy, so that way we can just drop all of the experience in there. Okay, so I mean, now that it is back in this mode, I mean, that should work. Okay, so strip them all off before going into the hyper mode, so I have a backlog and I have a printable area so I can duplicate base enchants, and then over here is going to be our high level enchants. Still wondering though, like what level does lightning start to strike? I mean, it is completely cleared now. Now, when I was testing this out originally, I was kind of confused. I was like, well, we can make enchanted books and like duplicate enchanted books, but we can't use the printer to print more templates. So yeah, I mean, it's just kind of an interesting like thing, but I mean, you can still take the template and essentially put it onto a book. And That's kind of what I've been doing here, or take the book and put the template on there. Perfect. And so once I get this whole thing filled up with all of these individual enchants, which is just basically come off of my base gear, then yeah, we're gonna be able to get to making these things ridiculous. Now, before I start going crazy and making the higher end ones, yeah, I want to use a gold chest piece here on like this regular enchanting table and get things like, I don't know, blast protection. And we do have a higher chance of getting these if you do use like a golden chest piece. There are some enchants though that are actually lower than this, but I mean, it has a higher enchantability. So definitely worth doing this. And then stripping things like blast protection and fire protection and even projectile protection off of these. I think I'm just about done with the enchanting table because I got all of the protections, and I also went ahead and done the ones for the crossbow and also got the ones for the bow itself. Now, if I could ever go hunting and get myself a mace, I would really like to do the ones for the mace too, but that's something I'll have to worry about later on. Now, between the last clip and this one, wow, I spent quite a bit of time getting every enchant I could get my hands on. So I have every enchant for just about everything except for tridents. I do have channeling, however. I think I just had that in my inventory. So I don't have the tridents or the mace enchants, but I have everything else, like fishing rod, everything you can think of. And then back here, we have all of our what you would call it, numeric enchants. So enchants that have higher levels than just a base enchantment. Now, all of these are the ones that are levelable, and I want to get a copy of every single one of these that are, well, doubled up. Now, I don't think this is going to cost as much time because the operation of this is going to be quite simple, and I wanted to get all of these done. That way I could then start to put in the hyper experience, or the cake, the Keiko enchanting, this cake, right? Yummy, delicious. All right. So we could also, by the way, cut this into pieces. I really don't know why you'd want to do that. It does half it where you it does cut it into 1/4 slices. And it does the same thing for the XP. It'd be like 250 millibuckets, but we can throw that in there now. And I'm probably going to want a few more of these, but for right now, let's just start with Depth Strider. So I'll place Depth Strider in here, make a copy of it. It's that simple. And actually, I'm going to make 2 copies of it because I want to keep the original copies of the base level. This is important for future things. But yes, I'm going to make 2 copies. I'm going to make sure to put this right back where I got it, and then take those 2, and this is where we're going to combine them together. And I'm hoping lightning strikes. It is really cool, like when the lightning strikes, because it converts these. And I wonder if this is what actually causes the lightning to strike. Ah, yes, I got it to strike. Perfect. So yes, it is now striking, and you can notice it did swap out my regular experience for this right here. Oh, lightning catalyst. Ah, that's so cool. Now, this stuff right here, like I said, can be converted into experience, which you can then, by the way, put right back into the forger. But it does have some other uses to be able to rip enchants off of higher tier gear, which is something we are probably going to need if I want to dabble in the upgrading of gear in the future a bit further. Also, by the way, you don't like have to have these blocks of experience in here. Like once it's actually turned, like you can just leave it. You don't even really need these underneath here, I don't think. But this is part of the mechanic, and we definitely want that. But there we go. We have the upgraded Depth Strider, and I'm just going to leave that literally right here. Like we have to keep that in this container because this container will be the books that will allow us to duplicate later. And this will be where we get our copies, and we'll just got to make sure we put them back in for now. But it looks like I can get like maybe 2 or 3 upgraded books by this time. So yeah, I'm working on this one. I'll place that in, get my 2 copies, which you can do 2 at a time. So we can just make both copies right there. And yes, I think we have this. I think we'll have this. I'm pretty excited. I don't know if you can't tell, but I mean, this right here, like 27, I guess it really depends on the level of the enchant, or I really don't know how it's actually basing this number, but yeah, 27 millibuckets, like that's not even that much, really. But man, this looks kind of ridiculous. Efficiency 6. Oh, so good. With all of those enchants now at their max level, we can now start to put this onto our gear. And there are a few that we can actually source together and maybe build like tool specific books. I'm just kind of afraid of one thing. This has a limit of 4,000 experience that it can make copies of, and it starts to get a bit more expensive and could exceed the 4,000 millibuckets. And same goes for this. It could potentially become expensive on here as well, and could become too expensive. I'm hoping that's not the case, and I'm hoping I can make enchanted books that, for example, are like quick enchantments that I can just copy and load onto a bow, especially if I want to make duplicate equipment and duplicate enchanted equipment for all the server mates. For free, of course. Where would you get that idea? No, it would cost diamonds. Now, we have Unbreaking at a crazy level of Unbreaking 4, Mending. We also have Punch 3, all of these being an extra level except for Flame and Mending. And we can start to apply this all to one singular book. These are all copies. And we also need Infinity. I think Infinity was the only other one. And this is where I think this is ridiculous, because it doesn't care if there are conflicting enchants. It will allow you to apply them. But don't get your hopes up about something like, I don't know, Silk Touch and using Fortune. Yeah, it's just going to default to Silk Touch. But I mean, they can both go on the same pick. I mean, that's something you can do. But now we just need to use our Forge and start combining enchants. So all of them are going to just get combined into one book. And I'm hoping that the forging cost like stays relatively low if I place the like enchantable book in here. I'm not sure how this is going to go. For example, if I put this in here, that is 27. Okay. Is it any different if I, for example, do the mending book and then apply that one? Oh, it does change. Okay. So you probably want to put the, like, you definitely want to put them in an order that they are going to be cheaper in. For example, this is definitely cheaper than it was before. And by the way, from doing that, I get an achievement called Paradox Fusion because we did apply Mending and Infinity on the same book. This, I think, is where everything gets super powerful. Look at this set that we're building. Power 5, Flame, Punch 3, Unbreaking, like Infinity and Mending, all on a book that we can then literally duplicate by putting it in here, and I can just print more of these. It's just going to cost me 1,300. Yeah, I don't think we're going to have a problem building like book sets that are for specific things. Like that goes on a bow. By the way, let's go ahead and let's just duplicate it. So that way I can go ahead and just apply it to this bow. Like we need one book, duplicate that entire enchantment set. Oh my. And then apply it directly to this bow. Look at that. Mending and Infinity on the same bow. This is beautiful. Oh, something all of us wish we had right here. And yes, it 100% works. All I got to do is have a singular arrow and the Infinity is going to work. Oh, let's just try this out. Okay. So toss it on there. Bam. And also it's going to take a while to use up durability, but we just used up some durability. We can fix that and we can repair it. Oh, that's gorgeous. Like now that's got me wondering, like, can we put every single protection on all of our gear pieces? Can we make something that literally has projectile protection, blast protection, fire protection, and regular protection? 5? Now I've got to admit, this looks absolutely ridiculous. Like, does it get more ridiculous than this? I can just simply wipe, like on my pants here, all of the enchants off of it currently, and we can just make a copy of this book and try to apply it onto our pants. I mean, this is getting expensive, 2,000 for this one book, but I mean, if this works, the only thing these pants could use is like the high-end Swift Sneak. Oh, that would be fantastic as well. So we have the book. I do have it stored in here for later. Let's try to apply this. Ooh. Okay, it does cost like 2 cakes to apply that. 3 cakes to apply that, actually. This is quite expensive to apply, but if we can apply this for ourselves, what? Like this would be absurd. But like I said, this is getting close to like the cap of the actual forge itself, isn't it? Oh, that is getting pretty darn close. Like, okay, so let's do this. And there we go. It is working. No way this is going to apply all of those. It shows it is. Oh my goodness. What? All of those protection modifiers on the one piece of gear? That's ridiculous. I mean, now I gotta see this. Like, once it is enchanted with something like this, and we have a base set, and we want to apply like some extra modifiers to it, like Swift Sneak, for example. I mean, that's reasonable. Like, that's not even that expensive. Oh, this is so good. I'm falling in love with this add-on. Oh my goodness. And with this Swift Sneak level, it almost feels like when I'm sneaking, I actually am walking faster than, like, I'm sneaking faster than I'm walking. That's what it feels like. On top of all of that, I'm now working on a sword that has sharpness, bane of arthropods, and also smite all together. I mean, what could go wrong? And at this point, it's like, of course it's going to let me put it on here, but just still, oh man, building these kits, by the way, these are going to be so useful that I could just reprint all of this. Like, that is fantastic. Now, I don't have enough for the forging cost, so let's bring that up. And there we go. Wow. I mean, the forging cost is a bit more expensive on the actual cakes to put all of these on, but it's so worth it. I mean, it's probably just totaling like the amount that it would be combined. Look at that beautiful sword. But like, is it actually working? Like, wouldn't the sharpness bring up the attack damage on the sword if it was actually all applied onto this sword? Now, I did have an issue with the back tank. Unfortunately, the back tank doesn't want to allow this forger to place on unbreaking or mending, so I had to do that manually with an anvil to get that back on there for some reason. But yeah, I am now adding capacity to it, which is a little bit higher, so capacity 4, which will give it actually 35 minutes versus the 30 minutes that it originally had. So pretty decent, I think. But I think I have everything enchanted. I mean, this is rocking some crazy stats. All of my picks and stuff are set to, for example, Fortune 4. We have our efficiency 6 on everything that I can put it on. The crazy stuff we can put on our sword, and I even have my fishing rod enchanted. But what this did allow me to do was build templates that I could potentially sell, or at least use these templates to enchant gear that I could potentially sell at a pretty significant cost that I'm sure that they might be willing to pay. Because who wouldn't like a max enchanted fishing rod, like an over max enchanted fishing rod that you can just go and purchase real quick and, you know, go out and fish with? So I do plan on expanding this, and it wouldn't be bad to, for example, have each of these kits in its own printer and having the printers lined up and having those kits and making sure we keep these inside of this printing area, you know, for safekeeping. That to me sounds like a plan. But man, I tell you what, the Enchantment Industries mod is absolutely ridiculous and I love it. And I hope you guys enjoyed this as well. I'm going to do a bit more AFKing to build up some more blocks. And this is going to allow me to have some to sell. We did go through quite a bit, like almost half of our supply in getting what I have on me enchanted to this level and get all of these enchanted books stocked up. So yeah, it was absolutely a lot today. And I think this is going to be a good stopping point, and we're going to work on the shop, I think, next episode. But if you did enjoy today's episode, be sure to click that subscribe button and give this video a huge thumbs up. And also be sure to check out some of the other peeps that you might have seen in today's episode, including Stam, and also check out Legion V as well. You can find them all linked down in the description below. Now, I can't end today's episode without thanking the amazing supporter of today's episode, and that is going to go out to Big Goofy One. Thank you so much for your amazing support and choosing to support me over on the Discord by becoming a Discord premium member, supporting me in one of the best ways possible in all of this content that I make. Thank you so very much, and going absolutely above and beyond, you boss. Thank you so much. And guys, with that, well, it's the end of today's episode, and I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. And as always, thanks for watching. I can't believe I almost forgot. That's right, I needed to take a bath and wash all of this gunk off of me. Apparently I'm stinky or something. Anyways,